Ammo Incorporated Stealth Subsonic 300 Blackout is very attractive because of its price point, but I think it needs some testing to see if it's actually reliable because I have had some consistency issues with it. So that's what we're doing today. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. Subsonic 300 Blackout is not a cheap round to shoot, which is unfortunate because shooting Subsonic 300 Blackout is a good time. It's one of the rifle rounds that can get very, very quiet, and you can build it in an AR-15 platform. I love 300 Blackout. I love specifically shooting Subsonic 300 Blackout, especially with my new Otter Creek Labs Polonium 30 suppressor. It is very, very quiet. But the cheapest Subsonic 300 Blackout that I'm usually able to find is this Ammo Incorporated Stealth 220 grain. But is that ammo worth your hard-earned money? It is less expensive generally than like any other Subsonic 300 Blackout that I could find. But is it reliable? Because ammo that's subsonic, quiet, that is what you're looking for, having fun at the range with one of these. But if it's not reliable, it's not really worth anything, right? I mean, if I'm constantly having to rack my charging handle to run my gun, then the ammo kind of sucks. And I have had inconsistencies with this ammo in the past. So is it worth it or not? We did some more testing, and I'm going to tell you what I think. So far, so good. This suppressor sounds amazing. Otter Creek Labs Polonium 30. I'm just going to shoot some into the berm instead of at the steel. I forget I don't need these. Lock back. This video is brought to you by StopBox USA. This is the StopBox Pro. I am going on a trip tomorrow morning and I'm bringing one of these with me. I might bring more than one. You know why? Because they're super tough and you can fit your pistol in them very easily. Bam, just like that. It protects it. You can hook it underneath your car with a cable that you can get for it. But if you need to get to it, bam, it is a lot quicker and a lot easier than having to use fingerprints, than having to type in a code, a key, anything else. I think StopBox is honestly the way to go. These 200 round packs of Ammo Incorporated Stealth 220 grain are like 150 bucks. That is much cheaper. I try to buy most of my ammo now at my local gun store because when you factor in shipping, it's about comparable in cost to getting it online, but you get it now and you support the local store. The one exception to that is Subsonic 300 Blackout. This seems to be the best deal I could find anywhere. And so when I first put my 300 Blackout together, I started buying this stuff. And at times it ran really well, and at times it didn't. And I also bought a lot of AAC 220 grain 300 Blackout, and I've never had a problem with that. The AAC is a little bit more expensive though. So if you think 150 bucks for 200 rounds, that's $15 per like 20 round box. Where the AAC is I think usually like $17.99. So that's $18. So it's an extra $3 per 20 rounds. And so I would like to be able to run the Stealth, the Ammo Incorporated, if it'll run. Well, part of the issue I think that I had for a long time was that this was the suppressor that I had on this gun. This is the Whip Machine and Tool Dirty 30, and it is a very short suppressor with a very big bore. And so it didn't really add any back pressure that I could notice to the system, which was really nice as far as not making any extra recoil, not having any extra gas back to my face, but it wasn't the quietest suppressor in the world, and it wasn't consistently reliable with this ammo. And so for a long time I thought it was the ammo because I could run the AAC, I could run S&B, SIG ammo, all these more expensive, ammos, Subsonic 300 Blackout, and they all ran just fine. Well, recently I got more of an appropriate suppressor for my 300 Blackout. This is an Otter Creek Labs Polonium 30. It's a bigger suppressor. It's a traditional baffle stack can. And so it does add more back pressure into the system. So has this suppressor made it so that the STELTH Subsonic is reliable? Because this is the kind of suppressor that most people will be running on a 300 Blackout. I'm going to tell you about that after a quick word from our channel partner. I'd like to thank Aura to continue sponsoring Sawtooth Tactical. They've been with me for the better part of a year now, and I've been using their service that entire time. And the best way to support Sawtooth Tactical is to sign up for Aura using my link down below. You get 2 weeks free if you use my link. It's only $12 a month after that, and they offer you a lot of stuff. I've talked many times in the past about data broker removal. Well, you've probably noticed that there are data leaks that happen. I get, notifications sometimes, oh, your password was involved in a data leak. Well, when that happens, then all of a sudden, all of your information is available to bad actors. And what they do is they find the data brokers that want to sell your information and they opt you out from those lists. But they do a heck of a lot more than just that. So spam and junk mail removal. That was one of the biggest ones to me. I don't get spam anymore. I really appreciate that. They have an antivirus. It's all of your online security all in one place. A VPN with safe browsing. So you can be on the internet and you don't have to worry. That's really nice. They have 3 bureau credit monitoring. Again, it's good to know what your credit is doing, especially if something happens to it that wasn't your fault. It's nice to know that right away and be able to take care of it, which these guys will do for you. Scam call protection. I haven't gotten scam calls in the last 9 months, and I used to get them fairly often. And some of them sound pretty legit when they're not. I mean, obviously they're not. But I don't get those anymore ever since I've been using Aura. Password manager. I hate trying to remember 1,000 passwords, which you have to do these days if you are online at all. With Aura, you don't have to worry about that. Home title monitoring. If you own your own home, bad people can actually get your home title out from underneath you if they know what they're doing, and Aura protects you from that as well. You get all this stuff for $12 a month, but again, 2 weeks free if you use my link down below, aura.com/Sawtooth Tactical. So we are actually having good luck so far. I dished the Air Pro. I was shooting the Mark 18 before this, so forgot to take it off, but let's hope the ammo continues to run. The first day that I got this suppressor, I didn't have this QD system yet. This is what I've got on here is the Q Cherry Bomb for the muzzle device. Doing this off camera because YouTube doesn't like it. Q Cherry Bomb, and this is the Reardon Atlas. The Q system and Reardon, they are compatible, so you can do that. Q is called the Plan B, by the way, if you wanted to know. But I didn't have that, so I just direct threaded it. And I ran some AAC ammo, 20 rounds of it, because it was the last 20 rounds that I had. And then I ran a couple mags of the STELTH, the ammo incorporated. And the AAC ran perfectly. The ammo incorporated ran the first 10 rounds perfectly. Then it kind of, wasn't super reliable for a few rounds. Then it ran the next mag perfectly reliably. And so it made me want to do this video and to test it out more. Well, since then, I got this, muzzle device, the Q Cherry Bomb, and, the QD for it. Well, as you can see, I think that this Cherry Bomb, it acts as a sacrificial baffle and probably adds some more back pressure into the system. And so I went out with more ammo incorporated STELTH, as you're seeing in this video, to shoot more of it and test how it was, expecting it to give me problems, and it gave me no problems. It was 100% reliable, which it has been in the past for me too, many times. So I'm wondering now, did I either get a bad batch of it? Do they just have bad QC? Or if I'm running a traditional baffle stack suppressor with a muzzle device, Have the thing buffered right. I'm running a Springco yellow spring and a 3-ounce carbine buffer. Pretty light buffer setup in this in order to run Subsonic reliably. Well, does the ammo incorporated work just fine then? Well, it seems like it actually does. So I am going to continue to buy it. That's kind of where I'm at. I thought I was going to say something different in this video, and maybe that'll change, and if it does, I'll let you guys know. But I went out expecting to have malfunctions, expecting the gun not to cycle every time, and instead it ran perfectly and locked back on the last round every single mag. So I am thinking that if you have your buffer system set up correctly for Subsonic, and you have an appropriate suppressor, you have your 300 Blackout built right, well, then I think this ammo is probably pretty good. I've talked to a lot of people about it, both online and in person at my local gun shop, and I've gotten mixed reviews, but for the most part, people have said positive things, that they love this ammo and that it runs great for them. So what I'm starting to think is that even though other ammo I never had any problems with, other Subsonic 300 Blackout, I am thinking that the combination of the wrong suppressor with not enough back pressure, with at one point I had the wrong buffer system in here. It took a while. 300 Blackout is not the same as 5.56, and it did take a while for me to get this thing tuned perfectly. Subsonic 300 Blackout is a really good time. Lock back again. And when I say perfectly, I mean tuned to be able to run supers and subs reliably without the use of an adjustable gas block. And I do believe that I have it there now. It seems to run great, both supers and subs. Supers are like as soft as shooting a 22. Subs just kind of feel like shooting 5.56. It ain't that bad. Or the opposite. Subs are super soft. Supers are like shooting a 5.56, which is still pretty dang soft. 300 Blackout is one of my favorite rounds. It works great out of a short barrel. It suppresses really well, at least the Subsonic ammo does. And it's just super fun to shoot. It's fun to be able to have a gun this short, this compact, this lightweight, and this quiet, and it still be effective. You go with an 8-inch barrel in 5.56, you are literally like taking all of the effectiveness out of that cartridge, or at least a lot of it. Well, 300 Blackout was designed for short barrels, and so it works great out of short barrels. And if you can get your 300 Blackout to run reliably, I think that it is a perfect gun for home defense, for a truck gun, for a travel gun. To be able to have a short, quiet gun that is also effective is pretty amazing. But shooting 5.56 is not that expensive. You can get it pretty cheap. Shooting 300 Blackout can get very expensive. And so if you can find affordable ammo that you can go to the range with and just blast around and have a good time, I think that is important. So at the moment, can I recommend the Ammo Incorporated Stealth 220 grains? I believe so. I've ran a lot of it by now. I don't know how many rounds through this thing, but I've ran more of that than any other kind of ammo. And I have occasionally had failures to cycle. But again, I think that was before my gun was set up properly. And it seems to run really well now. So I'm going to continue to buy it. As soon as I get back from this trip, I'm going to buy more of it. Because now that I got this suppressor, it really makes shooting 300 Blackout fun when you don't have to wear Ear Pro. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like. Let me know down in the comments, do you run this ammo in your 300 Blackout? And if you do, is it reliable? I would love to know. And if you don't, is there another Subsonic 300 Blackout that is affordable and reliable? Because that's what we're looking for. At least that's what I'm looking for. From Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.